Welcome back to Notre Dame Day. In the United States, we take the quality of our medicine for granted. When we're sick, we simply pick up our prescription, carefully prepared by our local pharmacist. However, in many countries, medication is much less trustworthy. Notre Dame chemistry professor Marya Lieberman and her student Nicholas Myers are working to put an end to dangerous medication around the world. Marya, Nicholas, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
It's nice to be here.
And to start off, Marya, how prevalent is this problem, and what happens when someone is given the wrong medication?
Well, we don't really know how prevalent the problem is. It's surprising, but there's no global program to analyze the quality of medicines. And the problem seems to be the worst in the countries where the people can least afford to be ill, so in developing countries. There was a recent study that estimated in 2013 that about 122,000 children under the age of 5 died because they received poor quality anti-malarial drugs. And that is all children under the age of 5 living in sub-Saharan Africa.
Right, and Nicholas, talk a little bit about what you're doing to help Professor Lieberman.
Right, so I'm kind of the go-to person for how do you make the paper test card work at a technical level. And we're kind of, I'm not sure how to really describe it, I guess, in terms of...
A Ph.D. project is an apprenticeship relationship, and so you hope over the course of the Ph.D. the student becomes the expert in the process. And so Nicholas has really done the fundamental development for several of our test cards.
Right, and you were talking when you sat down about those test cards. You brought some of them. Can we take a look at these? So these help determine the quality of the medication?
Right. So this is a test card that we use for analyzing pharmaceuticals. So the user just has to take a tablet or a pill and rub it across the test card and then dunk the bottom in a dish of water. And all the reagents, the chemicals that are needed to do the analysis are already loaded on the card. So it's very easy for people to do in a developing world setting where they might not have access to lab facilities. And then suspicious medicines can be forwarded to a laboratory for more comprehensive analysis.
Right, like you said, that makes it easy for them in these countries.
Yeah.
When would these paper tests, do you have any idea when they would be available to the public or available for use?
Well, we're trying right now to expand our study area. We're working right now primarily in Kenya, and we're hoping this year to expand to Tanzania and Uganda, which are neighboring countries. Nicholas has also been working on some more quantitative tests, and there we have some connections that are developing in several other countries. Do you want to
Sure,
talk about that?
so we have studies going on in South Africa and also Burkina Faso. And these studies tell us how usable is the test card. And this is an important step because right now the tests are pretty much being developed in a lab, and we want to kind of get them out of the ivory tower and out into the real world.
Nice, and you mentioned anti-malarial drugs sometimes were some of these medications that were kind of low quality. Are there any other specific drugs that run into this problem more than others?
Every therapeutic category of drugs is subject to this problem of poor quality. So antibiotics, drugs that people take for to kill worms, and HIV medications, tuberculosis medications, pretty much across the board.
Wow, well, it's very interesting. Thank you guys so much for joining us here today, and keep up the great work.
Good, thanks for having us.
Thanks.